Hi, my name is Lisa Paskel. Welcome to Warrior Kitchen. Today we are going to make a meal called Lentil Mix-Up. I like food that is delicious and nutritious. I don't want to waste my time, my energy putting food into my body that isn't healthy. I want fuel. I want to feel transformed when I eat, and I don't have a lot of time to spend in the kitchen. So I like to buy foods that are pre-prepared to some degree, meaning I'm not sacrificing the quality of the food, but wonderful stores like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, which by the way is very economical, offers me things such as this: pre-cooked lentils, packaged organic Brussels sprouts and broccoli, pre-cut garlic cloves. Yes, because who wants to stand there peeling garlic for hours? And let me tell you, I'm not that great with a knife in the kitchen. Put me in the mountains and I do great with a knife, but in the kitchen, a little dicey. So this makes it easy for me. I have 2 daughters. I'm on the go a lot. So I want to be really efficient with the food that I'm cooking. Lentil mix-up. First, we're going to turn on the stove without blowing up the house. This is a good one for me. I like to work on about a medium-high heat, especially when I'm using olive oil. I don't want it to get too hot because the oil can become carcinogenic. So I'm just going to coat the bottom of my pan. I want to say, I don't really measure things. I learned to cook from my grandmother, who's no longer with me. Well, she's always with me, but no longer here physically with me. And she said you put a little of this and a little of that, and everything tastes better that way. So we're coating the bottom of the pan with the olive oil. And then we are going to start by putting our pre-minced onion in. So what I did is I took half of a large white onion, a rustic onion, and I diced it up. I don't want too much onion because then it becomes overwhelming in the flavor. And I took that beautiful pre-peeled garlic clove and I chopped that up, not too fine. I like to cook the garlic and taste it in my food. And we're just gonna let this, not quite brown, but we want to get it real soft. I'm just gonna put this in. Now, I personally like to add black pepper. I love working with black pepper. I think it brings flavor out in the food. It adds a little bite to the food. So I am gonna add it in with the onions and the garlic and olive oil. Some chefs say that's a no-no. I'm here to eat what I like to eat and have it be tasty for me, so, and the people that I like to cook for, so this works for me. So I'm going to add a whole bunch of black pepper, but again, do everything to taste. All I'm doing is slowly cooking down my onions, garlic, and pepper. And just give the olive oil a really nice flavor, and already, I mean, you just put these into a pan in your kitchen and people think you're an iron chef. So we're browning up these onions and the garlic. I want to get them to almost a translucent consistency. And then I'm going to add in the tofu. Now again, I don't want to make it too small. I'm using firmer tofu, so I want nice bite-sized pieces so that you're getting something into your mouth that isn't all crumbled up. And we're just going to put this in really nice and easy. Now I love garlic. Garlic is such a wonderful ingredient. It's really great for the immune system, and if you're eating really good fresh garlic, it's not going to give you bad breath. It's not going to do anything except really cleanse your blood. And now we're going to start to add our Brussels sprouts. Now I'm using a lot of Brussels sprouts because they cook down. They really cook down. And again, we're going to start to add seasonings to taste. So we're mixing this up. I'm going to add what's called Bragg's liquid aminos. It's a great form of amino acids for the body. Can also use tamari. I don't like to use straight up soy sauce. It's a little too salty, and both of these have a salt flavor, so I won't be adding more salt to the dish. I'm going to add some Bragg's, and again, it's a taste. I really just want to cover the food and get a nice sizzle going. So I'm just going to get this mixed up until the Brussels become a little soft. I don't want them too soft. I want to keep them al dente, but I want to cook them down. And now, like I said earlier, I like to use garlic. And I'm gonna add some, again, Trader Joe's garlic. Not too much, because I already have the cloves. And I'm gonna add a little more pepper. And if you really like a kick, you can actually add red pepper. But because I'm cooking for my daughters today, I don't want to make it too spicy. Now, the nice thing about this is you can really use any vegetable you like. It's nice if you want to add carrots. I want to keep it green today, so I'm using, like I said, the broccoli and the Brussels. I don't want to overcook my broccoli, and I'm not going to use as much of the Brussels because I don't want the whole dish to be consumed by the broccoli. So I'm using about a half a bag that I showed you earlier of the organic broccoli flowerlets, and these I chop down to bite-sized pieces because there's nothing worse than having a huge hunk of broccoli that's undercooked in a dish where everything else is cooked. So I want it to be consistent. So I'm going to dump my broccoli in there, and if it starts to get too dry in the pan, you can always add a little more olive oil. If I want to sweeten the dish, I might add a little teriyaki sauce or a little bit of grade A amber maple syrup, but I'm not going to do that today because I want to keep it nice and savory. Now, we're going to add in our lentils. And again, I bought the prepackaged lentils. I basically just slice it in half, and then I dump these in, nice and easy. You want to make sure you have a deep enough pan so that your ingredients don't end up all over the place. And then we want to break the lentils up. And again, I said earlier, the lentils don't have a ton of flavor, and I like food to taste good. If I'm going to put it in my body, I want it to taste really, really yummy. So first I'm going to mix it up and get some nice flavor in there. I'm lucky because I live here in Southern California, and I have a couple lime trees I planted in my backyard. So for today, just because I'm in the mood, I'm going to pull out one of these limes from my backyard and grab me a knife. Sound like I'm from Texas. I'm going to grab me a knife. I'm going to cut this lime in half. It's nice. It's really beautiful lime. It even has the seeds in it. It's right off the tree. And I'm going to put a little lime juice in here just for a little kick. I use lime in everything. I drink a lot of water, and I keep a fresh lime next to my sink, and I slice lime and use the citrus all day long. It just really gives me a nice boost. I'm not a big fan of soda, or pop as we say where I'm from in Michigan. And I added a really nice little bit of tea to this as well. So yummy. And I like to recommend that you drink some water, maybe 6 to 8 ounces before a meal. It will give you a sensation of being a little more full so that we don't overeat. We have a tendency in this country to really overeat. We really don't need per meal more than 2 fistfuls of food. And people make plates this big. I have a really big appetite. I burn a lot of calories. But I try to eat slow, take my time, take some breaths before I start to put the food into my body so I can really see what I'm hungry for, what I need, as opposed to just feeding the deprivation. So many of us experience so much deprivation on so many levels. We're constantly feeding it, trying to find comfort. It's okay to feel a little hunger. It's a nice thing to feel hungry and then prepare a beautiful meal and sit down and take our time to eat it. Just the right amount of flavor. Looks beautiful. I'm going to give you a little picture of it. And that was quick. It took about 5 minutes to make that. You have enough food here to feed yourself, your family, and friends. Quite beautiful. You can put some on a plate and sit down and have a nice little lunch. I'm so glad you were able to join me today in the Warrior Kitchen. And I hope that we can keep working together to create food that sustains us, that gives us the opportunity to provide our bodies with the fuel it needs to live a really healthy, energetic life. Right here I have a plate of food, our lentil mix-up. It's about 300 calories. It probably has about 20 grams of protein between the lentils and the tofu. We have our greens in here. We have our healthy fats. A lovely meal. I have my water with lime, and cheese is optional. You can go vegetarian or vegan with this particular dish. I like to use a blend of Parmesan Romano cheese, and I just sprinkle it over the top. There's so many wonderful non-dairy options out there. This is a newer ingredient on the market. My daughters are both vegan, and it's just delicious. Pamela's Parmesan cheese, and sprinkle a little more. I love the cheese. And I'm gonna give it a nice taste. Mmm, delicious and nutritious.